rockets, firebombs, and tunnels along the border. Those images are what most of the world know about the Gaza Strip. But what's it really like to live there? CBN's Scott Ross visited the area for a Gaza border reality tour. Here's part one of this exclusive report.
Eliyahu McLean lives and works in Israel along the border with Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip.
So we are about 7 miles in this direction
Here.
from the Gaza border. This is Moshav Yoshivia.
You're in direct line of fire here.
Yes. 3 weeks ago, during the Sabbath, I was just finishing prayers here, and I had just walked home at 10 a.m., and we hear red alert, Tseva Adom, from this siren. And well, as soon as we heard red alert, in our houses, we have to run to a safe room.
Hamas launched nearly 700 rockets at southern Israel that weekend. How much time do you have?
You basically have about 10 to 15 seconds.
Seconds
To run into the room that's called a safe room.
Why do you choose to live in this sort of an environment with a family?
Yes, first of all of Israel is under rocket threat.
Yeah, but not like this.
Many Israelis have discovered this part of the Holy Land is actually quality of life. A few rockets don't scare us, first of all. We have faith in God, that
Yes.
God is going to protect us.
And he does.
And yes, and this is sovereign Israel. And if we're going to run from here, we might as well run from Tel Aviv. We might as well run from wherever we are in Israel. The word here is resilience.
McLean took me to his synagogue, showed me the Torah scrolls, and introduced me to his neighbors. When the situation is tense, he said they sing and dance. McLean introduces visitors to the complicated situation on the border by giving what he calls the Gaza Border Reality Tour. Visitors get a glimpse of the complexities of life on both sides of the border.
And we're looking on the outskirts of the first third of Gaza Strip, looking in the direction of the Mediterranean. And looking to the left, this is already Gaza City. Remember, this is a city of 1 million people, and you're talking in all of Gaza, 2 million people. That is a lot of humanity. So I want you to also see the border here. You see there's a border fence here.
Yes.
And you see Israeli army lookout posts. And if you look slightly to the left, you can see a mound of earth on the other side. You can see a Hamas lookout post. By the way, wave to Hamas. As we're looking at them, they're looking at us. The enemy is just that close.
They could take a shot at us now?
They could, but they see that we're journalists and tourists, and we're not going to be targeted.
Standing along the international border, we could see the Israeli town of Sderot. And just 45 miles up the coast is Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv. On the map, McLean showed me the reality.
The area in blue are what doesn't exist anymore. This were the Israeli communities, the settlements of Gush Katif. In 2005, the Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon uprooted the 7,000 Israeli in about 23 communities.
Had to uproot everything.
But the tragedy wasn't just the uprooting, but they left behind all of the greenhouses that were top of the world. And the Palestinians from Gaza were working there. They could have maintained it, but Hamas decided to destroy the greenhouses and use it as a launching pads to fire rockets. So it's a little bit of what you call shooting yourself in the foot.
Hamas did the same thing with electricity.
One of the ironies is that in the 2014 Gaza war, Hamas was firing rockets to destroy that power station, which in fact supplies over 30% of the electricity to the same people that they live among. Isn't that ridiculous?
So Israelis are supplying power
That's right.
to Hamas.
Well, to the people of Gaza, that unfortunately certain leadership elements don't necessarily take into account the needs of the simple people who are not everybody, are necessarily those involved in the conflict.
Last year, Gazans only had 4 hours of electricity per day in summer, and that creates problems for Israel.
So recently, the Israeli government even allowed money from a government called Qatar to revive the power stations. So now there's 12 hours a day of electricity. So why is electricity important in Gaza? First of all, it's very hard in the heat of the summer or the cold of the winter to have no heating or air conditioning. If there's no electricity, the water treatment plants like last year, will start pouring untreated sewage into the Mediterranean. Do you know which way the currents are carrying that untreated sewage? To Ashkelon.
That's where one of Israel's largest water desalination plants is.
If untreated sewage from Gaza reaches there, what will happen to our saltwater treatment plant? It's pumping water from the Mediterranean. It's meant to purify salt. It's not a sewage treatment salt desalination plant. Do you understand?
Yes. But McLean says just fighting the terrorists isn't enough.
And you see the dilemma that Israel has these days. Even Hamas, as extreme radical Islamists as they are comparatively the moderates. You have Islamic Jihad. You have ISIS of Sinai and their compatriots in Gaza. You know, so if we topple them, who will replace them? But at the same time, to remember the people just on the other side. We in Israel say, why should it be our responsibility? Egypt doesn't want them. Syria doesn't want them, and Jordan doesn't want them. Nobody in the Arab world wants them. You understand? So, in the end, Israel ends up with the responsibility.
Alpha, Omega.